Hello there, YouTube. What is going on now? It's me, Gabriel here, founder from Weather Buddies Forecasting Central. If you guys are having a fantastic day, I'm glad to hear that. This is going to be a U.S. weather forecast, precipitation only forecast. I don't have really time to make all the other maps, so this is just going to be a precipitation only forecast. But if you guys do love weather-related content and you love my videos, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, share with family and friends, and don't forget to ring that bell notification icon for the latest. Let's get started with the video. Alrighty, here's our U.S. weather forecast as of June 25th, 2023. By the way, I hope you guys are planning on doing something for the 4th of July. It's about a week from now, so yeah. So anyways, this is the U.S. weather forecast, as I was saying. There could possibly be some monsoon resurgence coming up. Oops, wrong color. So we could possibly see a monsoon resurgence coming up here by as early as next week. So possible Southwest Monsoon starting. You have to keep an eye on that and see where that goes. Alright, so let's start off with the first slide. So we're going to start off with the GFS model, of course. I'm only going to be covering the GFS and the CMC model in this forecasting video, just so that way it doesn't take too long. Alright, here we go. So look at this large low pressure system right over Michigan, almost Michigan, Lake Michigan actually. As you guys can tell, there's some strong complexes of storms just to the south of that area. Right over Arkansas, I believe that's Mississippi and Louisiana. And as you can tell, there's a nice strong complex right in the southern half of the Ohio River Valley. So there's some strong storms there too. You guys could experience some probably moderate hail with some of these storms, but mostly this is associated with the trough right here though. So we have to keep a close eye on this trough and see where it goes. All right. By the way, this is as of tomorrow, I believe, either tonight or tomorrow. This is what the slide is. You also can experience some storms in the parts of the Intermountain Northwest, pretty much right over Montana, Idaho, and northern parts of California. Which is kind of good because some of these areas need this rain. There is good news. Let me rephrase that. There is good news for the state of Iowa, parts of Michigan, and stuff towards the end of this video. You guys want to stay tuned for that, for anybody who lives in the parts of the Midwest and parts of the Upper Great Plains, because there's good news coming with that. And again, I created my own forecast, and I think you're going to like the news. Alright, let's go to Tuesday. So the last slide was tomorrow. This is Tuesday, June 27th. And as you can tell, there's that big low pressure system about ready to exit out of the area. Has a nice, quite a strong front right there. And this front kind of goes all the way back to the Red River of the South. So we got to keep an eye on it, make sure that if this front could possibly produce any storms along that boundary. Then we have more scattered activity across the Northwest, Northern Great Plains, and parts of Wyoming and Montana. We're also going to... So when I was talking about the research of the monsoon possibly coming in, it's not going to really show up in this model, but the next model will show it. The GFS has been kind of bouncing back and forth between a dry pattern and a wet pattern for the monsoon, but like I said, we're going to keep an eye on that and see what happens. Kind of can see some specks right here, right over Candy Corner, right over New Mexico, and northern parts of Texas, and even North Mexico. So, but we are going to keep an eye on this area because there could possibly be a monsoon resurgence coming. And again, more storms in the Sierra Nevada region. Yeah, so across those areas. Alright, so we're moving now to Wednesday, June 28th. And as you can see, there's that resurgence. So that's what I was talking about in the beginning of this video when I said there's a possible resurgence of the monsoon. It would be right there. And it'll start to extend northward into the desert southwest. Mostly going to affect New Mexico and Arizona, possibly Colorado and Utah, but as of right now, it's going to affect New Mexico and Arizona only. That low pressure system I was talking about is right over there, right over Quebec, about to exit the place. I do know this part of the Canadian prairie needs some moisture. This is in eastern half of Quebec, and unfortunately they have had some really bad wildfires there the last couple of months. We hope that this low pressure system actually be a little bit further to the west, because that they could use it real badly in that area, Quebec and Canadian Prairie. Columbia Basin not so much, but they still need rain too, because there was some wildfires at the beginning of the season. And then to move forward from there, more storms popping up in Florida and the southern half of Mississippi, Alabama. Some storms right over central Kansas, and some more strong stuff in North Dakota. But again, there's those scattered thunderstorms I was talking about, right over the Intermountain Northwest, and yeah. And like I said, there's that resurgence of the monsoon trying to get going. Alright, next slide, here we go. We're moving to Thursday. I think I have one or two more slides after this one. Okay, Thursday. So, as you guys can tell, I see it's still pretty active. This could be good news for the Midwestern states right there. There's a little complex of storms going into that area. Another resurgence of the monsoon. This is getting kind of a little stronger in this slide. And again, more Sierra Nevada northwestern storm activity. Like way down here in Florida, you got some storms down there too. Nothing tropical like, but just some leftover boundaries. And pretty much, like I said, in the Dakotas and just on the northern end of Nebraska, you got some storm complexes there too. These are kind of weaker storms from what we saw in the last couple slides, but they're still worth to keep an eye on just to make sure, because the weather can change every few minutes. So if the weather decides to change, this complex of storms and this complex of storms could be either further to the east, west, or kind of intensified. So yeah. Alright, I think we have one more forecast here. Okay, so there it is. There's the resurgence of the monsoon. It's about ready to blow up here, as you guys can tell. There's a little bit of a connection between this complex of storms and this down here. I'll come right along that corridor. I just circled right there. It's the monsoon trying to get going. We're going to keep an eye on that, like I said, because possible chances of, again, resurgence of the monsoon. Okay, enough of the monsoon. Let's look at the other areas. Okay, so there is, again, more storms popping up right along this kind of lone boundary. It's just been sitting there for a while. That's why you keep seeing storms popping up over the Sierra Nevada. You keep seeing popping up over there. But what I'm seeing here is a complex of really good strong thunderstorms, probably pea-sized, maybe dime-sized hail, the most. And then we got a little tiny system right here trying to develop right over the southern Ohio Valley. So we got to keep an eye on that storm as well to see if it actually translates into anything. But as of right now, that's what we're seeing. Okay, I think I have one more slide. If this is the last slide, okay, this is probably the most active slide on this model we've seen yet. Right over Ohio, central Ohio, Indiana, and parts of Illinois. Is going to see some pretty massive storms over the area. Again, there's the resurgence of the monsoon trying to get going. And the reason why I'm pointing it right here, the monsoon right here, is because that's usually when you start seeing the resurgence of the monsoon. It usually starts off in Mexico and then it goes north. So that's why we're looking at that. And then again, a nice complex of storms right over eastern Colorado, northeastern Colorado, Kansas and Nebraska looks definitely not as strong as this, but they look like they're really healthy storms. They could potentially produce some downpours and some flash flooding at most with those storms. The ones that one over Ohio could probably produce a little bit of hail, just because of the given fact that it looks stronger. Also, bear in mind this is an operational run, so these models change this far out. So just bear that in mind. So, because my operational runs can't really pick up on thunderstorms as good as the NAM model could, or something like that. Also, again, kind of a little stormy in Florida, stormy in the mid-south, and parts of the southeast. Still stormy down there, so yeah. Alright, we are going on to the Canadian model, or the GEM model, CMC, alright? This is the one that shows more of a persistent monsoon pattern than GFS, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So here is the first day, again, Monday, that's tomorrow. There is that low pressure system you were talking about. Looks like a low trying to develop over here in the northwestern area. There's that resurgence that I was talking about. Storms in Florida, and possibly could see some storms popping up right over here in eastern Pennsylvania and then some of the smaller states and the New England states. Keep an eye on it and see what happens. Alright, next one. So now we're on Tuesday, June 27th. There's that low pressure system. Really starting to bomb out right over there. And again, this is good news for people in Michigan because they were dealing with some nasty drought. I can't even see Michigan here. Michigan needs it real badly. They haven't had very much in the way of storms the last few months, and it's good that they're getting rain there because they need it and need it real badly. So I have good news for areas like Iowa and stuff as well. But as further to the south, pop up the isolated showers and thunderstorms. It looks like there's that monsoon trying to get going right over New Mexico and parts of Colorado or Arizona, while we have some convection right over the northwest. Not directly over Washington State and Oregon, but just to the south and east of those two states is where you can experience some daily convection. Alright, next slide. Now we're on Wednesday, June 28th. Alright, so here we go again. There's the monsoon really starting to show up in this model, so we'll keep an eye on it. You got some, again, pretty much widely scattered convection all across from Northern California all the way to Minnesota. That's about how wide that area is. So, gotta keep an eye on that. In the Northeast, in the New England states, you can experience a lot of rain. Possibly some wind with that, as the isobars are showing a little tight right there. So, probably get some gusty winds out ahead of that system. And again, not really much going on in Florida, just more isolated, scattered convection in that area. Alright. I think we got one or two more slides after this. Again, there's the monsoon trying to get going. You have, again, more storms popping up in this northwest quadrant in the United States. More isolated scattered convection in Florida and the deep south. You also, looks like we got some storms trying to pop up over Minnesota, and it's really hard to see the states here because these lines over Minnesota and Wisconsin, so yeah. And then again, Michigan's in the dry right now, but I guess I got good news for them. And let's go to the next slide. Oh, and there's that storm system, by the way, leaving. There it is, the monsoon trying to make a return. More convection really across the north central part of the United States. And this is probably, by far, isolated thunderstorm activity, maybe scattered thunderstorm activity, just because, remember I told you this is an operational run. This is an operational model run. They do not pick up on thunderstorms that well, so wherever you see green is probably wherever you're likely going to have thunderstorms. And then again, southern Florida is still soaking wet down there. It's like you're not going to the sun anytime soon. Then find a little bit of a break right here in in the Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana area, the mid-south. So that's the deep south. But yeah, and then again, that storm's exiting New England states. All right, one more. I think this is the last slide. This is Saturday, July 1st. Trying to get the monsoon going still, not fully, but it's trying to get going. More isolated thunderstorms over Mississippi and Florida. Alabama and Florida. And you got another low pressure system trying to get going over this area, and then again, that's an area that really needs to rain. From Michigan to probably Iowa, that's where they really need it right now, and parts of the other states like Ohio needs it real badly too. So there are some states that really need it. And then there's that last bit of that moisture exiting New England, and got kind of a complex of storms all the way from Montana all the way down to Colorado. Alright, guys. I think this is the last forecast. Now we're gonna go to my forecast. You guys ready to see? And just to quickly mention that this forecast was based off of several model runs I looked at. So what you're about to see may not be 100% accurate, but we'll see what we can pull out of this. Alright, here we go. So there it is. Slightly below average down there in south central Texas, all the way to Louisiana. Once you get kind of towards Florida, you have equal chances to above average precipitation. Then you go up north to the mid-Atlantic, well above average, almost slightly above average in most of the area. Once you get to the interior New England states, you start to see more above average. And again, good news for Michigan. They are the northern peninsula and the main state itself. So that's good news for Michigan there. And then this is the good news I was talking about here, guys. This is the area that they really need the rain, and according to what I pulled off calculation-wise, that this area is going to get the most of it. We're talking about Iowa, north and south central Minnesota, and the northeastern half of South Dakota, and a little portion of southeast North Dakota. And then there's the resurgence of the monsoon. Monsoon's trying to get going. While you further north, all the convection that I've been talking about in parts of the northwest and the Sierra Nevada. And then outside of that, you're mostly going to either be about average or below average in western half of Washington State and Oregon State. And most of California is going to be right in the kind of in the sandwich in between. Anyways, guys, I hope you like this weather forecast. This is all I have for you. Okay, so I meant to tell you this is the 7-day forecast. I forgot to put that in the caption above, so I do apologize about that. But if you guys like this weather forecast video, please give the video a thumbs up, share with family and friends. Do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and don't forget to ring the bell notification for the latest. Hope you guys enjoy. We'll talk to you later. Bye.